Listener, welcome to the third episode of Life Through a Learner's Eye. And on this episode, I want to talk about the most important natural human resource. Uh, you can guess it. What do you think it would be? Come on, tell me. What do you think would be the most important natural human resource there is? I think creativity. I don't know what you think. You can go and type the answers in the comment or anywhere, but I think it is creativity. Creativity is practically, you can see from the research that's going on, and you can see from the world really that creativity is what matters the most. You have a problem and you need to have a solution, and you have nothing, you just have an idea in your mind, and you create that reality and you solve that problem and you create something new. That is the talent, that is the creativeness of human beings, and only human beings have this capability. Have you seen maybe a dog who has a problem and he can just come up with a way, and he can just use some basic trigonometric ratios to solve how he can put this bar inside of this square? No, only human beings can do that, because we are creative creatures. We are born with creativity. We have this gift of creativity. It is our natural resource. Creativity is simply, it is just it is like to create. Creativity, the word comes from to create, and to create what? To create anything. And in what way? In any way. You create the way, you create the thing, you create the product, you create anything. And great leaders, all the great leaders in the world, they are creative. Albert Einstein come up with the theory of relativity, that was creativity, and he solved many problems. Bill Gates come up with the idea of creativity, and he built Microsoft, which is now solved, which has solved major problems. It gave us computers, right? And they are just operating on our desk, solving problems. So these, all the great leaders, they have this one of these traits of creativity inside them. And creativity is, it is what separates us from other life on planet. Now Pablo Picasso said that every child is born an artist, but the problem is whether he remains one as he grows up. Why is that? It has been proven by research also. There was a test conducted by NASA on a group of children, and it was a creativity test, and the result on the test were 98%, which means that you are born with this gift of creativity. You are given this gift. I read a quote online. I don't know the name of the writer or anyone who said it. Yeah, it was, the deepest yearning of the human soul is creativity, is the ability to create, the ability to imaginate, to think, right? And it's so amazing. You have an idea and you figure out what you need to do, and you, if you change that, if you make that shift inside of you, sooner or later you are going to make that in the world. And that's how you shape an idea and you turn that into a reality. That's how you do it. Creativity is the key. And the thing is that the test was conducted by NASA, and again on these children after a 10-year period. This test was conducted again, and the results were that they were mind-blowing. There was a 50% loss in creativity about after a 10 years period of going to school or just living. And why is that? We don't know yet. And NASA's scientists were there's this one scientist or some engineer, I don't know. He made this, Dr. George Land, I guess. He made this test, and he has a TED talk if you want to see. It's called The Failure of Success, and it is actually the failure of success. When they went out with the same test and they conducted it on a group of adults, the answer was much more mind blowing. It was much more astonishing. Only 2%. Only 2% of adults are creative, while 98% of the children are creative. What is really happening here? Are we pulled out of our creativity? Are we deprived of our creativity as we grow up? And I think yes. I think that is true. That is a fact. That is a reality. And I think you can credit the education system and the society for that. What Picasso said, the quote by Picasso, that every child is born an artist, it was just shining some light onto this. He was telling us that what we are doing is wrong. You have to make children, you have to make them remain an artist. They have to remain creative. They have to remain natural. If you go far from your natural resource, of course you are not going to be successful. What happens in the society is, when we are born, we see all these people around us working 9 to 5 job, really striving for happiness, really striving for success, really just hustling hard, and all of that in the wrong direction, I think. And these people are not really happy. Still, we adopt to the algorithm they're in. And our education system does the same. As we progress through school और बाकी जगहों का तो आई थिंक दे आर इम्प्रूविंग. जो मैंने अभी तक एक्सपीरियंस किया है पाकिस्तान में, पाकिस्तान के एजुकेशन सिस्टम में टिल कॉलेज लेवल, ये प्रॉब्लम इज़ this problem is constant and on a major scale. This is not even a problem, this is a crisis. I mean, क्लास में जो सबसे ज़्यादा पूछे जाने वाला क्वेश्चन होता है वो यही होता है कि ये टेस्ट में होगा या नहीं. They just get knowledge and they have to test that knowledge. That's it. Memorization. Not about thinking or being creative about it. You just have to take in what the teacher says. बस उसको अपने अंदर build up करना है until you throw that up on the paper, or the one who throws up the best gets the reward. I think just because of we memorizing raw facts, I don't think we'll be creative like that. Creativity is connecting these dots. You must have knowledge, you must have dots about these things, you must know about the dots, but creativity is just how they connect and they form a beautiful image that helps you and that helps other people. That is creativity. And we are never really taught to connect dots. We are just taught that ye dots hain, and you just have to memorize them and put them into the right place. Memorization. We give all of our energy to memorization and nothing to think, nothing to be creative about. Just learn, and that is how you earn. That's ridiculous, and that is why I think this is one of the reasons. The second reason our education system is pulling us or depriving us out of our creative capabilities is because you know this. You know, if you have been through all this education system thing, all this schooling thing, you know that failure is not an option there. I mean, fail हो गए या mistake कर दी. और यहाँ पे भी of course हमारे यहाँ पे मैंने जो experience किया है major level, कि अगर आप fail हो गए then you are just done. You have no choice. आपको पता है आपका result है, अगले दिन आपके papers अच्छे नहीं हुए और आपको पता है आपने fail हो जाना है. You will just recently I have heard about this. Recently I heard a news that a children committed suicide just because of this. He was a poor little soul. He loved his parents so much. He couldn't just get the pain. He thought that he wouldn't be enough. He isn't enough for his parent, and that he shouldn't ultimately live. That is what we are taught. That failure is not an option. That's heartbreaking for me. And great leaders, and somebody who has never failed, never achieved anything great. You have to fail, and then you have to learn. You have to learn from your mistakes if you want to do something great. Nobody in the class raises his hand because they have a fear that they will be wrong and that the teacher will then do bad things to them. This is the crisis we are going through, and this is why creativity is just slowly but surely it is being deprived. And the time we are in our practical life and we need to be creative at that time, we don't actually have that, because we weren't taught that. All our lives we are taught to step into an algorithm which they think is rigged for success. If the thing is not giving you happiness, it isn't giving you success. Don't kid me. Happiness is the best form of success that there is. Nothing. Fulfillment without success without fulfillment is the ultimate failure. Tony Robbins says this. Even if you be successful and you are not happy, you'll not be happy. Emotion is the major force of human life. The most major source of human life is the driving force of human life is emotion. We, the education system, the society, they just pull us out of our creative capabilities, out of our natural capabilities. And the more you step away from your nature, the more you're going to feel lost. The more you embrace what you are, the more you'll feel happy, the more you'll feel pumped, the more you'll feel energetic each day. And I think all of us need to do that. You must engage in creative activities, even though the best way to build creativity is to use it. Use it to create possibilities for yourself. This is the greatest era to be alive as a human being. And you can use it to create many possibilities. From just a single device called a mobile phone, you can create millions of possibilities for yourself if you want to. Even if the education system isn't performing well, that's another problem. But you have the resource, you have the chance, you have the greatest opportunity ever. You can build your creativity. And I want all of you to do that, please. Because that is your nature. Be creative, be free, be happy, most of all. And I know you will be oppressed. Many people will say that, why do you do this and why are you wasting time on things like this? They won't reward you. But ask them, what you are doing, is it rewarding you? Are you really happy? And if you are trying to be creative and you are happy, you are winning, my friend. I strongly encourage all of you to embrace yourself, to embrace your natural capabilities, to embrace your creativity, and believe this, that all of you were given this gift. You don't have to be Albert Einstein, you don't have to be Bill Gates. All human life has been given this gift. All of us are equal. I believe this, and we have the ability to build ourselves. It is the last minute, and from whole talk, I know the education system is really, it is really bad. But on the other hand, we have this self-education, and my friends, you can use that to build anything you want, believe me. Self-education is the best type of education there is right now. Surely we need to fix the education system as well, and we are working on that. But you cannot use that as an excuse that you are not performing well. You have this resource, this great resource, the internet, and you can learn about anything you want. And no matter what anybody says, don't let that voice come inside of you, because this is not you. Embrace yourself and be creative. I'll see you in the next episode.